This is just a quick how-to on exhaust wrapping. This is just how I do it. There's probably 100 different ways of doing it. This is what I've been shown and this is what I think works well for me. A few things you'll need: rubber gloves for the exhaust wrap. You don't want to get this stuff on your hands. Most of the time it's fiberglass, it will itch like hell. Try and avoid getting it on your clothes if you can as well. I use a CV band clamp and a CV band clamp tool. You don't have to. A normal hose clamp will work fine if you get it over it, or a CV band clamp without the tool. You can still use pliers as long as it stops it unraveling. It doesn't need heaps of pressure. Another thing is a bucket of water, or to just at least wet the wrap. Makes it a lot easier to use, a lot easier to wrap around, and a lot more maneuverable. Once it dries out, it sort of sets in that position and kind of holds its shape a bit better as well. First things first, you want to glove up. Like I said, you don't want to get this stuff on your hands or your skin if you can help it. Get heat shield wrap. Plenty of different places sell this stuff. At the end of the day, I'm sure it's just a fiberglass weave. How well it will hold up the temps might differ and vary. I'm sure you can get plenty of it off eBay. I just got it from the local parts store. So decide whichever way you want to wrap. You will only end up needing to clamp one end. If you wrap it back on itself, it will act like a clamp, clamping itself into place, and then as you go along. So what I will do is wet the exhaust wrap, dunk the whole thing usually in the bucket of water. Get it all nice and soaked and let it soak for a little bit so it sucks up some of that water, and then get it ready to put on there. This end, I'm gonna wrap it along here. Hard to show you, but wrap it along here and wrap it back on itself. Keep it nice and tight, it always helps. Because it's such a short piece, it's easy enough just to twist the piece as I'm going. If you were doing a bigger part or wrapping it on the car, obviously just pull the whole roll out, work out how much you want, and then trim it down and roll it on while it's on there. Alright, work your way down, overlapping as you go, so that you don't have any gaps. I'll fast forward to it being done. So I've wrapped up to the flex joiner. I've decided that's probably as far as I'll go. The flex joiner has got a couple of layers to it, so it will kind of act like an insulation anyway. Plus it's a bit hard getting this stuff to wrap over the top of it for no extra gain. So I'm going to trim it off and then clamp it up. If you're worried about it, you can have a think about whereabouts the joint is going to end, have that facing downwards, tucked away. Doesn't generally matter too much. Depending on the width of exhaust wrap that you use, you might need 2 clamps, you might be able to get away with 1. It is really just to stop this from folding up and unraveling itself. As you can see, if it's a thin clamp, it doesn't hurt to put 2 there and it won't look that bad anyway. So that's all nice and tight and firm. Keeping it sort of overlapped so you pretty much would have double layer at most parts. The CV band clamp, like I said, pretty handy and they're not very expensive. Open it up. Alright, CV band clamp, flick through like so. As you can see, go through there. The thickness is about that thick. 1 band I think will do the job. You can have 2, might make it look a bit neater. You can pretty much probably just pull it tight with your pliers and hold it there and fold it over and pinch it. Otherwise you can use the tool, whichever way you want to do it. You feed the wire through there, or the cable through the tip, past the cutter, and then through into the slot in the back piece of the tool there. Slot that through there and it's ready to wind up and tension and good to go. So it'll tighten it up nice and firm, but not to overdo it. So it is just exhaust wrap, it's not an actual CV boot, so you don't need to go too overboard. We're not trying to stop grease coming out or anything. So I tighten that up there, pull that back up on itself, and then fold the clip over there and flex it off. Now it's folded back on itself nice and tight. Fold it down, and then you've got the 2 little prongs here which fold over just to stop that from flicking around. Doesn't hurt to get the pliers and squash it down a little bit nicer and make it nice and neat. But there you have it, exhaust wrap done. Looks pretty neat. Let it dry out. Once it dries out, it'll hold its shape pretty good. You shouldn't have any problems unraveling, and it should be happy days.